Hi, my name is Jon Kelsen. I'm a teacher here at the Jewish Institute. This week is Parashat Korach. Korach, when in the course of challenging Moshe, lays out a few claims against Moshe's authority. Why do you anoint yourself, raise yourself above the whole congregation? We are all holy. Chazal elaborate upon the challenge that Korach put towards Moshe in a couple different places, in Midrash and the Talmud. The end of the previous week's parsha ended with the Parashat Tzitzit. And I assume jumping off of that, Chazal say that one of the challenges Korach put forward to Moshe was the following. Korach and his entourage went to Moshe and asked him a halachic question, Shaila. They said, Moshe, we know that you just taught us that four-corner garments need to have tzitzit put on them, and those tzitzit are meant to be strings of white with a ketil techelet, the string of techelet color, sort of bluish color, wrapped around it. He said, Moshe, what if the garment itself is fully techelet? Beged shekula techelet. What if the garment itself is already techelet, is already that color? All of its threads are techelet. Does it also need techelet put on with its tzitzit? So Moshe, of course, responds, yes, it does. And at that, it's taken for granted by the Midrash that Korach and his followers laugh at Moshe, laugh at his response. What a ridiculous response, that a beged, which is kulo techelet, a beged which is entirely made of techelet, would need another techelet string on its tzitzit. So there's other similar questions that are put forward. The question is, reading with the grain, I assume that Chazal take Moshe's side, that Moshe is actually correct in responding that it needs techelet nonetheless. But on the other hand, Korach's question is quite reasonable, meaning if indeed the beged is entirely techelet, if the garment is entirely made of this techelet color, then perhaps it wouldn't need techelet on the tzitzit, on the corners. Right? It's actually seeing God's command of one string of techelet and raising it to all the more so. Kol hamar ba'arezim meshubach, we say, going the chumrah, and actually making the whole garment into techelet. So what's wrong with that? So my revered teacher, Rabbi Elisha Shalovitz, once suggested, if I understand him correctly, that the cost of Korach's suggestion went unseen by Korach himself, and that is as follows. If someone walks into shul, walks into shul one day where everyone has their talitot, and on their talitot they have a string of techelet, and this guy walks into shul with a talit made all of techelet. So on the one hand, yes, this person, we assume the greatest of intentions of this person only desires to perform the mitzvah in the most beautified and magnificent manner, and thus is a garment made fully of techelet. But the cost is that for everyone else in the shul at that moment, they all look down at their own little, tzitzit with one pitiful string of techelet, and essentially feel, I thought I was actually fulfilling the mitzvah, but now I see I'm actually not. I thought I was doing the mitzvah in its beautiful manner, and now I see, actually, that which I'm doing is actually like the bare minimum, it's like an inferior version, doesn't really count. In other words, the cost of a person individualizing their performance of the mitzvot, maximizing, if you will, their performance in one certain way, in sort of the Korach manner, actually leads not to the whole congregation being holy, as Korach claims, but rather, quite the contrary, actually leads to the delegitimization of the mitzvah as fulfilled by everyone. And especially if you realize that techelet is an expensive color, this becomes all the more poignant. You realize it's also a class issue. So, simply put, what Korach didn't understand is that the cost of his own argument that let's let individuals, raise themselves up and have a beged shekula techelet, the beged which is entirely techelet, even if we grant that was done out of sincere motivations, it comes at the cost of the authentic experience of everyone else in being able to partake of the mitzvah of techelet equally, to all experience themselves as royal children of God. And that essentially is Moshe's response, and that's something for us all to consider this week in our performance of mitzvot and generally in life, There's room for self-expression, but the question is, what unseen cost might we be taking away from others? Thank you. Shabbat shalom.